So we are now broadcasting to all attendees. So hello, my name is Cheyenne from Longview University in Farmville, Virginia. Welcome to our virtual portion of the VACRAO Collegiate Fair, sponsored by the Virginia Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Counselors and StriveScan. Thank you again for joining us so much. So a few housekeeping items for you is when you're trying to ask questions, we are going to ask that you utilize the Q&A button on your screen. You'll also, of course, be able to see now that your camera and microphone are both off, meaning that the presenters won't be able to see you at the moment. But we are going to encourage you to sign up for more sessions at www.strivescan.com/Virginia, which will pull up all of the other sessions. And this recording will also be available within 1 week from this session being posted. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our lovely presenters. And again, welcome and thank you for joining us.
All right, good afternoon and welcome to Who Are You Going to Call? Understanding the roles of the different offices on campus that will best help you with the enrollment process. My name is Madeline Hux and I am a representative of Western Carolina University. We are located in Cullowhee, North Carolina.
And my name is Ricky Butler, and I'm an admissions advisor from Glenville State College, and we are located right in the heart of West Virginia, right smack dab in the middle.
And my name is Tashana Davis. I am a admissions counselor here at Old Dominion University, located in Norfolk, Virginia.
All right, to get us started, one important thing that we felt like we needed to share with you guys is first how to contact us. So whenever you call us or leave a voicemail, it's very important to leave your full legal name. If you have a name that might be spelled a little bit differently, like for example, my name is spelled a little bit differently than the traditional Madeline, where it's spelled more like Madeline, I would include that spelling as well. You would also include your reason for calling. So if you're calling to check on your application, if you're calling to figure out more information about whatever school you're contacting, make sure you include that as well. And then also, most schools will provide you some form of student identification number or username, whatever it is. If they do provide this to you, make sure you have that on hand. That way it's a little bit easier for us to be able to find you in the system. Same thing with the voicemails, making sure that you provide your full legal name, your reason for calling, and also your callback number. You'd be surprised how many times we get a voicemail where we don't have a number to call you back and we want to be able to help you the best that we can. So providing as much information as possible is how we're going to be able to do so. Another thing to keep in mind is with your emails, making sure you do more of a similar thing where you include your name, your reason for emailing, and then any other information that can best help us with emailing you back and giving you the most information possible. So moving on to more of the undergraduate admissions portion of your enrollment process. So you're going to hear this term admissions counselor. You might hear a few other different names for anyone within the admissions office. And maybe you don't know what that is or who that person might be for you. It's always important to reach out to your admissions office, no matter what school you're interested in. That way you can learn about what exactly their role is. Because I know for me, my job is to help you guys with the application and enrollment process. I'm also here to answer any questions about the university, and that is what my job is, but each office will be a little bit different. So ask what exactly their role is with your application system and with your enrollment process. Also ask who your counselor may be, because I know for our school specifically, we have it divided up by the first letter of your last name. Other schools, they might have it divided up by territories. So for example, specific counties or specific states, whatever it is. So make sure you ask about that as well, because they're going to be the ones who are helping you out throughout this entire process. And you want to know who it is that you're going to be talking to. That way you're also not passed around to different people. So some of the things that we do in admissions, we recruit. So we do things like these virtual fairs or last year and in previous years, we were actually there at your school. We were talking to you, informing you about the different options that we have, school-wise, program-wise, whatever it is. So we do these virtual fairs now. Hopefully in the future, we'll start back with actually traveling to come see you guys. We do the Zoom calls. So we're doing one-on-one Zoom meetings. We might also have open Zoom sessions depending on the school. We'll call you over the phone, we'll email you, whatever it is. But no matter what, if you have questions about wanting to learn more about an individual school, make sure you reach out to them to see what their options are. Because, for example, we are not offering tours at Western Carolina right now. We're hoping to start that up this month, but there are other schools who are offering tours already. So figure out how you can meet your admissions counselor, if there's a way for you to meet face-to-face, whether that's through Zoom or in person. We also help with the application checklist. So what it is you need to in order to apply to whatever school. So whether that's, an application fee or your transcript or test scores, whatever it is, we're going to be able to provide that information to you as far as what all you need in order to apply to our specific school. Each school will be different. So also ask them about what exactly you may need, because I know for us, and especially with COVID, the test scores are not required this year. While we still encourage students to provide a test score if they can, it's not always a requirement for this year. Now, with us being in North Carolina, I understand that Virginia schools and North Carolina schools are a little bit different. So don't be afraid to reach out to any offices and ask questions. We'll also help you understand how to submit it. Some schools will do it through your College Board account, or you have, Virginia, you might have a little bit different of like a student account that you might be able to do some more general applications. While every school might not be a part of that, you might have some that you can just do one general application and just press submit for the schools that you want. Or you'll have one specific application through a certain school's website. So for example, with Western, you would go to apply.wcu.edu, and that's just our application portal, and you'll be able to log in and fill out that information and submit it, and we'll get it. So make sure you ask how to submit your application as well. Visiting, I already touched a little bit about that, but we do offer tours, open houses. We have virtual and face-to-face options. I know we also offer a number of other opportunities. Some schools may have Honors Day, some schools may have Juniors Day. So with Juniors Day, that's specific to just juniors in high school. With Honors Day, you're focusing on the honors college programs if a school offers it. So also follow up to see if there's any other special events on campus for prospective students that you can come and attend. With open house, it's a great way to get to see what the student environment is like, get to tour campus, you get to see some of the professors and get to learn a little bit more about your degree program. So also see what exactly goes into an open house event or anything else that's face-to-face. So definitely reach out to any school with questions about that, because it's really important to visit your campus. That's what's going to make or break your decision ultimately, is stepping onto the campus and seeing how it feels and see if it feels like home to you. Because if it doesn't feel like home, it's going to be really hard for you to adjust and be able to live up to your full potential at that university. And then we'll also help answer some quick facts about the university or college that we work with. So whether it's, general information about all the programs that we offer or information about clubs and organizations, whatever it is, we're going to try to give you as many facts as we can. We might not be able to give you all of the specifics, but if we're not able to give you the specifics, we'll redirect you to any office on campus that might be able to help answer those questions a little bit better. So now that we've talked a little bit about what the admissions office does, we're going to move forward to some of the frequently asked questions. So some of these can be, what are your competitive averages? That can be GPA, weighted, unweighted. That can be your test scores as well. So ask them what those averages are. How do you submit your application? What do you need for your application? Is your application binding? So that binding word, what that means is that you have to go to the school. We have an early action application. So that means that you do not have to make your decision and commit to Western. You're able to go off and apply to other schools and let us know later on if you want to attend. But there may be some applications that are binding, saying that you have to go there if you're accepted and if you fill that application out. What will make me stand out as an applicant? This is a really good question to ask, because you want to be a strong student. You want to see how you're going to stand out among other applicants. And that's not just for the admissions process. That could also be for scholarships and financial aid information as well. So ask how you're going to stand out from others. What programs do you offer? Because if a school doesn't have the program that you're interested in, then it's going to be really hard for you to try to attend that school. So make sure you follow up with them on that to make sure that they have that career path that you're looking for, whether that's a specific program or even, if you're wanting to do pre-med, making sure that their pre-med track or whatever they have is going to be the best fit for you. And then also how to submit the following information between transcripts, your residency determination, your test scores, fee waivers as well. Some schools will do fee waivers, some schools won't. It really just depends. You have to ask about that as well. Some schools may have it to where it's only for students who are in financial need of some sort. Some schools may have it to where, you know, it's just a lucky, if you ask for it, you get it. So make sure you reach out and ask about those things as well. Now moving a little bit forward to our residential living. So say you're admitted into a school and you're wanting to learn about, okay, well, where am I going to live? Their job is to provide a safe, clean, and healthy living environment for you. There are a number of resident halls that are going to be on each campus, and they're going to help you try to figure out which one is going to be the best setup for you. They will typically have building communities. So those can be, for example, we had one floor of one of our resident halls was dedicated to our leadership program. We also had a certain hall that was dedicated just towards our marching band members. And then, for example, my freshman year, I lived on the 4th floor of one of our resident halls, and it was all freshmen. Even though we were in the honors college where it was all freshmen through seniors, it was that one specific hall was dedicated towards freshmen, so we could meet other people our age and interact with them and encourage us to build our own community. And then they'll also help you with your room assignments, whether that's finding a roommate or finding a room itself. I know here at Western, we have a variety of options between single rooms where you have your own bedroom that you share a bathroom with a suite mate. We also have double rooms where you have your traditional roommate and then the two of you have your own bathroom. We have hall style, we have suite style. So they'll help you with that information as well. Also figure out how you can meet a new roommate. So maybe you're going to a school where you don't know anyone. That's completely okay. Just make sure you follow up with them and ask, okay, well, how can I find someone? Whether that's through a Facebook group, or I know that there's even some online programs that are dedicated just towards like a dating website, but not a dating website. It's for finding a roommate. I did that my freshman year and met one of my roommates through that. You can meet your roommate at orientation, or also some schools might have a certain program set in place. So for example, at Western, if you do not come in having a roommate that you already know, we'll just have you fill out a questionnaire, sort of like that dating questionnaire where you're answering questions such as, do you like your room hot or cold? Are you a night person or are you a morning person? Do you like your room clean or messy? You'll answer those questions and then they'll match you with a roommate based off of that questionnaire. So that's just to give you a little bit of an idea of what the residential living offices will do. And like I've already said, each office will be different. So follow up with the offices and see what exactly their roles are. So some of the frequently asked questions within residential living are, am I required to live on campus? I know for Western Carolina specifically, we require all first years to live on campus. So following up and seeing if you have to live on campus your first year, or if you do, how long do you have to live on campus? Can you choose to live off campus if you want to? And how do you apply to live on campus? You might have to sign a form and you might have to submit an application, whatever it is. Follow up with that school to see what their process is like. How is my room or roommate made or assigned? So whether that's through that questionnaire that I talked about earlier, or if it's just a random lottery, they just throw you into a room, make sure you ask about that as well. What furnishings and amenities are available? So as you can sort of see in that slide that I'm showing right now, you can see an undecorated, unmade room, completely ready for move-in. So with that, see if they're going to offer you, a desk or a chair or, a wardrobe, or if you have more of a like dresser type. You're going to get a bed and a mattress, but also following up with any other special things that you might have. I know for me, one of my rooms had a closet, whereas another room that I lived in had more of a wardrobe. So asking questions like that. Also, what the bathroom is going to be like. I know for our hall styles, we have a custodian staff who they'll come through and clean the bathrooms for you, so you don't have to. But if you're in a suite style where it's just you and one other person, that's on you to clean your bathroom. So try to figure out as well, like, what's the cleaning like? Do you have to do it on your own, or do they have staff come in and do it for you for the bathrooms? What should you bring? Believe it or not, there is a list of what you should and should not bring to campus. They will typically provide that to students. If you're not able to find it, see if you can get a hold of a copy of one of those, because everything that's on the do not list, there's a reason it's not on that it's made that list. So make sure that you avoid bringing anything that you're not supposed to, as well as make sure that you have everything that you may need between shower shoes, or if you need a shower caddy or whatever else. See what they recommend for students. And then what items are not allowed, following up with to see what else they offer. Now that I've talked about some of those things with residential living and some of their frequently asked questions, we're going to move forward to our advising center, and you guys will hear a little bit more about that.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Again, I'm Tashana. Thank you so much, Madeline, for giving us some good frequently asked questions that students can prepare for. So thinking about advising, these are some of your counselors, almost like your counselors as you have in high school. They're similar to that. Advising, or our advisors, they make sure that you're following a set degree plan. So when you come into the university and you choose your major is assigned a curriculum. So they make sure that you're taking the right courses to ensure that you're following that particular degree plan so that you can graduate. They also can assist you with career paths. So if you are possibly thinking about maybe psychology and pairing that with criminology, they can assist you with what type of career plans that you can go into. Also, maybe also include some type of salaries. If salary is a big thing for you, want to make sure that you graduate and have that top paying job, they can assist you with some of the questions that may come with that. Also with switching your major, I know at Old Dominion University, you're able to double major, you're able to do a dual degree. Or you can also have a minor. It's super flexible at ODU. So if you have questions about switching your major, maybe you thought coming into your college that you were going to be a teacher, but then you got into the curriculum and figured out maybe that's not the right fit for you and you want to switch your major. Trust me, we did it. I did it. I thought I wanted to be something and got to college, was like, no, I don't think that's a good fit. So if you have questions about switching your major, your advisors will be there to assist you with that process. They'll kind of go over the new curriculum plan to make sure that you're all set and ready to go. Make sure that it's something that you're interested in. So your advisors are typically the ones who will assist you with that process, along with registering for classes. So during orientation, that's when at ODU, during orientation, that's when our students meet with the academic advisor to register for their first year classes. So they're getting all of those general education courses. They're getting plugged into DegreeWorks, which is a software that we use on campus to make sure that you are taking the correct classes. So anything like that, those advisors will be able to assist you. And also providing additional resources. So if they see that you may be struggling in the class, or and you need some assistance with talking to a professor, you may not be sure how to have that conversation. Advisors sometimes act as the liaison between you and that professor, and they can kind of go over a good plan for you. Or if you have a newcomer disability, or you may need a referral to educational accessibility, who kind of help or assist with accommodations. Advisors can be that point of contact for you to kind of give you those referrals on campus. And then also your student status. So we're talking about whether you're a freshman, a sophomore, junior, or senior. Also looking at your GPA. Some programs require that you have a set GPA in order to maintain your status in that particular program, and also thinking about graduation. So there are certain courses and classes that you must take in order to be eligible for graduation. So your advisors are going to be your point of contact for some of those things. And then just moving along to orientation. Yep, so orientation is typically like the welcome committee. They're like the fun people on campus, welcome you into your transition into college. So sometimes they may have things like a week of welcome where you have all of these activities, making sure that you are, just kind of getting connected to campus. College can be a huge transition. So the orientation department, or whatever your university may call it, we call it, Monarch Orientation on our campus. They are like the welcome committee. They're, making sure that you have everything that you need to have a full and successful transition into college. They also assist you with getting involved on campus. So whether you may be thinking about participating in an activity or a student club or organization, our orientation department can kind of be that point of contact for you all as you transition. And then they also assist with on-campus resources as well. So they may assist you with, hey, where's career development? And orientation could be the point of contact to say, hey, contact this person, or, how do I get in contact with my advisor? They can be a great point of contact to direct you to either referrals or other sources and resources on campus. And then at ODU, we have what is called a student checklist. So other schools, I have seen them have it as well. And basically, when you're an admitted student and you have confirmed, you will get a freshman checklist. And some of the things on your freshman checklist may be, make sure that you contact student health concerning your records, or it could be, make sure you send us your final high school transcript. Or it could be things like make sure you register for classes and meet with your academic advisor. So those are some of the things that our orientation department handles on campus. They just make sure that you have everything that you need for your transition. And then, of course, one of the biggest things that our orientation department does is help with that family connection. So, you're going to have mom, dad, your sister, your brother, or whoever's taking care of you, or who's ever, watching you go away to college. You're going to want to be like, how do I stay connected? How do I, get in contact with my kid, or whatever the case may be. So sometimes orientation will be that point of contact for the family, and they may have some services available for people in your family who are watching you go away to college. All right, Ricky, I'm going to go ahead and let Ricky take over for financial aid and scholarships.
All right, so the orientation was the fun part. Now we're going to get into the not so fun part, paying for college. So the first step here is under our FAFSA. You'll see the studentaid.gov. Now this is where you're going to go to complete your FAFSA. And that actually begins October 1st. So if anyone's thinking they're behind, you're not behind at all. We have plenty of time for that. Moving on to the types of aid. So this is a common question. So for us, we have, grants is a common thing that you hear, especially the Pell Grant. And you typically do not have to pay those back. Now, when you're looking at scholarships, those can be awarded academically. You can get those athletic. For us, we're NCAA Division II, so we do have athletic scholarship. And those, you do not have to pay those back. You'll have those. Of course, you have to follow the guidelines for those, or those could be revoked, such as like your GPA, or if you drop a course, that kind of thing. So along with that too, you'll have your loans. Loans, you will have to repay those. There will be interest with those as well, unfortunately. And then you'll have to do an entrance counseling and promissory note. And that's just kind of like a legal requirement that you have to do in order to make sure you understand your obligations for repaying those. And it's actually really good because they'll show you exactly what you'll need to be doing to repay those, kind of where you will need to be on track to do so. And another thing we kind of forget about is your work study. A lot of universities and colleges have work studies available for you guys so that you can make extra money. And it really looks good on a resume as well. Just say, hey, I worked at this institution while I was there. People really like to see that. So some common places you could do a work study: the admissions office. We always have people that we're looking for to make calls or just to do our tours on campus. Fitness centers, often tutoring services, cafeteria, just keep that in mind. And then your estimate. So once you complete your financial or your FAFSA, an EFC number is generated. And when that's generated, your financial aid office, or even we do it here in the admissions department at my institution, and we do financial aid estimates so that you can kind of see what you would need to pay. And a lot of the little hidden fees are in there, like little housing fees if you have to pay for a microwave or a refrigerator, or little fees for orientation if you guys have, sometimes it's like $100 orientation fee, that kind of thing. And that's a really good thing to have so that your parents can kind of see what they're going to have to pay. If you want to accept loans, it kind of goes in and out of there. But outside scholarships typically aren't included in that. But once you get those sent to the cashier's office, they can be in your final bill. And speaking of the cashier's office, that's the office you're going to be contacting regarding any payment plans. So it kind of gets put off on financial aid, but that's actually the cashier's office. So moving along here to some of our frequently asked questions. So yeah, like I said, who do you call for payment plans? That is the cashier's office. And a lot of people want to know what information they need to fill out the FAFSA. So you're going to need your social security number and the tax documents for 2 years prior. So for this year, it's going to be 2018. There's some more questions I had on here that I didn't include. So a lot of times kids will be like, so what if I don't live with my parents? And unless you meet specific guidelines on the FAFSA's website, and if you have any questions like that, just go to the studentaid.gov and click the magnifying glass. You can put in any kind of keywords and all of your questions will be answered on there. And then another question is like, what if my parents are divorced? Do I include both? And the answer is no. Whoever provides the most support to you is going to be on your FAFSA. And if that parent say they got remarried, then that person needs to be included on that as well. So, and how do you apply for financial aid? So that's filling out your FAFSA and completing that. And then they'll show you what you could qualify for. And you'll have to go through and accept or decline the loans. And is there a deadline? And the deadline for federal aid is June 30th of next year. However, institutions have their own guidelines for that. Glenville State, we don't have any deadline. You can really apply it anytime you want. So you just get with your institution and kind of see what their deadlines are. Some of them are soon, some of them, like us, are not at all. So moving on, another important department is the registrar's office. And one thing that students get confused about is final transcripts versus official transcripts. So final transcripts mean you're not enrolled in any courses. That could be if you're dual enrollment and do college courses, or if you do them high school classes. You have to be done, nothing pending. That's a final transcript, and you often have to pay for that. Official transcripts, you can pay to have an official transcript, but unless it is final, meaning you have no pending courses, it is not a final transcript. So where do you request those from? If you're in high school, you can request them from your guidance counselor or your school counselor, whichever they're called. If you have dual enrollment classes, you need to get with that institution, their registrar's office, and get your transcripts sent over to the admissions department of the school you're interested in. And what are they needed for? So your high school transcripts are super important because there are regulations on the courses that you need to take to get into college. So that's important, but if you take any college courses while you're in high school, you don't want to take those classes again. So just make sure that the institution sees what you have taken so you don't have to retake it, and you can kind of move on to the next level, which is what that's for. So when do you request them? Like I was saying, final transcripts, do not stack up those fees. Wait until you're done taking the classes to send the final transcript. Your unofficial transcripts can be accessed on that institution's website if you're transferring out or if you have college courses, and you don't have to pay for those. So you can send those as a general idea if you need to register for courses at your new institution. And who do they get sent to? Us in the admissions office. And then we can kind of disperse of them from there and send them up to the registrar's office and wherever they need to go. So your forms, there's a lot of forms in the registrar's office. To start, the FERPA. So the FERPA is actually the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. And it's important that you sign this and include your parents because it gives your parents access, or your guardians, aunt and uncle, whoever that may be. It gives them access to your records. So if you want them to be a part of that, they cannot even call and ask anything unless you have that signed, and that's going to be out of our registrar's office. So if you want to do a change of major or adding a minor, there's a form for that. I know they talked a little bit about how your advisor can help you, but there's also a form, and that can be found in your registrar's office, and it needs to be on file there as well. If you have to change your name, of course, you come to college, fall in love, get married, get a new last name. That's also a form that you can find in the registrar's office. Change of address, you don't want to live on campus anymore, you want to live off campus, that's a form there as well. And then of course, most importantly, applying for graduation. That's the end result here. So that's another form that can be found in the registrar's office.
All right, so I think that is all that we have for you guys today. And just a reminder, these are just some of our, what we deemed as important offices on campus throughout your application and enrollment process. Make sure you follow up with whatever school you're interested in to see what they have as far as office-wise and who you need to contact about the things that we've talked about already. But if you have any further questions, one, you can go ahead and drop those in the Q&A box and we'll get to those as soon as possible. But if not, you can always reach out to us. Take a screenshot of the slide, do whatever you need to. But we've provided our email address, our general office email address, as well as our telephone numbers for our office. So once you give us a call, send us an email, we'll try to follow up with you as soon as possible. But if you have questions at all throughout this process, please do not hesitate to reach out, not just to us, but really any school and any office on campus. That way you can, one, get the most information possible, two, make it the easiest transition for yourself as possible, but also that way you're informed and you know what's going on and you're not forgetting about things later on. I know there are a number of students who forget to submit their transcript, or they might forget that they need to submit their scholarship application, which is really important, and we highly encourage you to do that. But that's just to give you an idea. So feel free to reach us at any time, but I'm going to go ahead and close out of this slideshow, and we will answer any questions that you guys have. Oh.
All right, so it looks like Alicia or someone asked about, does the FAFSA have to be filled out each year? And the answer to that is yes. So as Ricky said, I don't know, Ricky, did you want to follow up with that about the October 1st opening? And some schools have different deadlines.
They do. So some have different deadlines. Like I said, we don't have a deadline, but it does open up October 1st. So you can go to that studentaid.gov and go ahead and complete your FAFSA. You don't really have to worry about not having your documents posted. I mean, it is 2 years prior, so everything should be there and ready for you to go from there.
And then someone asked about the recording being posted, and the answer to that is yes. So in about 1 week, you should see the recording posted on the website.
So thank you again, everyone, for joining. If there are no other questions for our lovely panelists, then we are going to ask that you exit off. But as soon as you close this window, it is going to open up with a 4-question survey. We really appreciate any feedback you can provide for us about your overall participation and how things went for you. And you can also check out the schedule at strivescan.com/Virginia to see any of our other events that are going to be hosted virtually for you to participate in reference to the session that we have for all Virginia students. And we're also going to, of course, remind you that this is going to be recorded. So I know you were able to join, but please do encourage your friends to also check out the session a little bit later after it is posted again a week from now. And you can find that again at strivescan.com/Virginia. So thanks so much for joining us. And if you have other questions, feel free to reach out to our panelists personally. Hope everyone has a lovely day. Thank you again so much for joining us.